Hello YouTube fam, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Tina and I make videos on lifestyle, home, and DIY projects every single week. For today's video, we're heading over to the thrift store and DIYing some items. I wanted to find items specifically for my bedroom to DIY just because I want to refresh it, especially for the summertime. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I'm always redecorating my spaces. So this video is going to be the starting point of that, and we're going to create some really cute items. And I'm also really excited to share that Equilibria is sponsoring today's video. I've been really loving their products and I think you guys will love them too, so I'll talk a little bit more about them later. Before jumping in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for new videos every single week, and let's go ahead and get to the thrift store. Hello from VoiceOver Tina. Our first stop for this project is Council Thrift Shop on Fairfax, and this is actually my first time here. I was really impressed by their selection of furniture, and as I was browsing, I was looking for something that I can turn into a plant stand. I was trying to see if they had a small side table or a stool, but instead I found another item that's gonna work just as well. And after I found my DIY item, I knew exactly where I had to go. I went to the Cane & Supply store here in LA, and I saw this place on Drew from Lone Fox's channel. I've been here a few times since moving to LA, and they have such an amazing variety of cane varying in different color tones, sizes, and styles. And you basically pay for the length per inch, and the pricing varies between all of them. So I wanted to show you guys what I picked up, and I got this black trash can. It is very basic. This one is a pretty standard size trash can, and I feel like since it is so basic, there are so many things that you can do with it. And it's honestly one of the fun things about going to the thrift store. Sometimes you can find really amazing, unique pieces, but then you can also find some really boring, plain pieces that you can totally jazz up. So that's what we're gonna do today. So when I was brainstorming things that I could do with it, I thought that I could use some cane webbing. And this one that I got is a pretty big weaving just because I want the black to peek through on this piece. I got a pretty big piece just in case I mess anything up, but I think it's gonna turn out amazing and I'm really excited to get started. To start our project, I'm measuring out my trash can, and it was about 9.5 inches tall, so I went ahead and measured that out onto my cane webbing. Using a pencil, I just made sure that I had the right measurements all throughout, and then I also used a piece of tape as a marker to start cutting, and you can go ahead and just cut it right along the length of one of the cane pieces. Now I'm taking an 8-inch embroidery hoop, and I'm just going to use the inside of the hoop, and we're going to need 2 of these for this project. Then I'm taking our cane piece and I'm going to place that inside one of the hoops, and this is going to help me gauge approximately how long it should be. I just cut that to size, and it's totally okay if it's not exact because we can always cut it off later. Alright, so now we are ready to attach it to our hoop, and I'm using a small line of hot glue inside the hoop, and as I'm pressing it on there, I'm going to make sure to hold it down until it dries. This process was a little bit of a struggle because you need to unravel it and glue it at the same time, but once you get going bit by bit, it got a lot easier. Cane webbing has gotten super popular and trendy in home decorating over the past year or so, and I'm still really loving this trend. When my dad saw that I was decorating my home with it more and more, he actually told me that he used to weave cane growing up in Vietnam. He would weave 3 sheets of the cane webbing every day just to make ends meet for his family. I was really amazed when he shared this with me, and it made me really appreciate how far both of my parents have come. And seeing how popular caning is today really makes me appreciate it even more. And if it ever does go out of style, I think I'll always have a bit of cane in my home just because it holds such a special place in my heart now. And that's one thing that I really love about DIYing. Some projects are just so special because of who you made them with or for, and there's always a special memory or sentimental value behind them, so I think I'm gonna keep this one forever. Before finishing this side, I just cut off the excess where the caning overlapped, and then I moved on to the second hoop. This time around, it was a lot easier to glue down and went by pretty quickly. And where the 2 ends overlap, I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down just to hold everything in place, and this is going to be the back side. And now we can pop our trash can into our new holder, and that's all there is to this project. Okay, you guys, how stylish does our new plant pot look? I really love how the black peeks through the caning for a more sophisticated bohemian look. You can totally try out this project even without the trash can and turn it into a lantern or using it as a light fixture. This project was really simple to do, but it made such an impact to flip an old thrifted piece into something new and beautiful. Before I take you guys over to the next thrift store, I wanted to talk about Equilibria, who is today's video sponsor. I'm excited to share more about them because I've been really loving all of their products. So Equilibria is a by women, for women premium CBD brand. And I actually read on their website that they're located in Chicago. So as a Chicagoan, you guys know that I love that. Their products are organic and medical grade, and they actually have farms here in the US that they own and oversee so that you get the best CBD and you guys know exactly what you're getting. I'm actually very new to the world of CBD. It's always been something that I've been curious about, but I didn't really know where to start until I discovered Equilibria. Something that's really unique to them is when you purchase from them, you'll actually get one-on-one support with a dosage specialist. So after about a week of using CBD, I got a 30-minute call with Haley, who is my dosage specialist, and she was so informational and attentive. She answered all of my questions, and it really helped me understand how I can use CBD to be effective in my own routines. You guys know that I work a day job as well as juggling YouTube at nighttime and on the weekends, so I really have a problem when it comes to sleeping on time. So I've been using their daily drops at nighttime, and it seriously has made such a difference in my sleep quality. I feel a lot more refreshed and ready to take on the day, so I would definitely say that this is a top pick of mine. If you guys have been curious about CBD at all and want to try out for yourself, I would definitely recommend Equilibria. This is a brand that I love and support and would totally recommend to my own friends and family. And I do have a discount code to share with you guys, so if you click on the link down below and use my code TINA15, you'll get 15% off of your entire order. And now let's head over to the second thrift store. The second thrift shop I went to was Out of the Closet in West Hollywood, and this is probably one of the cleanest and most organized thrift stores I've ever been to. I spotted this beautiful chair that I wish I had room for in my place, and they had a whole wall filled with little trinkets and home decor items, and I had high hopes to find something that I could put on my walls. At the second store, I ended up picking up this picture frame, which again is another one of those basic items that you can always find at the thrift store. This one was only $2, but then they gave it to me for half off, so it was only $1. And it's also made with a plastic material. It's not glass. There is a little bit of wear and tear on this, but it seems like it's just coming off. Oh, yay! Okay, cool. I thought I was gonna have to like really try to get that off, but that came off pretty easily. I should have just done that at the beginning. I decided to pick this up because I don't really have that many square frames in my home, and I thought this one was perfect. I also wanted to show you guys this other piece that I found there. It's not a piece that I'm gonna DIY, but I thought it was so cute, and it's like this little basket. It's a hanging basket because there is a little loop here, but it's in a very unique shape, so I think I'm gonna put little dried flowers in here and just hang it somewhere, and it's gonna look so cute. Sadly, there are pieces missing and it's kind of broken in a couple of areas, but honestly, that's totally fine. This is a really unique piece that I haven't seen anywhere else, so I'm happy that I found it. So anyways, going back to this frame, I just wanted to make some new art and hang it up in my bedroom. I definitely share a lot of artwork on this channel, but I do not have enough frames to put them all in. So this project is going to get a frame, and let's go ahead and just jump into the project. All right, to start this DIY, I'm popping everything out of the frame, and I noticed that there's a little thin white spacer in between the frame and the plastic, which is really great for adding in some depth. I then lightly sanded everything down just to get rid of the sheen on top, and this also helps clean the surface. And with some regular old acrylic paint, I'm going to do thin layers of this black paint onto the frame. This dries down to a matte finish, and I think it makes it look a lot more sleek and modern. And I had debated between painting it or spray painting it, but my craft paint worked really well just to get a nice even coat. The trick here is to brush it on really thinly and quickly to make it look super seamless. Alright, for the art inside, I'm using a piece of cardboard to cut to size, and with some joint compound, we're going to use this to create a textured piece. I'm using a wide plastic palette knife just to spread it onto the surface, and I did not realize that I had bought a pink joint compound, but not to worry, this is going to dry down white, so it's going to be totally fine. And as you're working with it, you can create as much or as little texture as you'd like by adding on some more pressure. Honestly, it felt like I was frosting a cake as I was covering the cardboard, and as you can see, I'm doing an up and down direction for the background. Then for the bottom quarter of the piece, I moved from left to right to create a horizon line. My project is inspired by a sunset scene with some mountains in the foreground, so this is going to be the start of the scenery. From there, I created a semicircle shape to signify the sun, and this is going to go on quite thick. And this project is going to be very abstract, so you don't have to make it perfect. It was really fun working on it. I love the uneven texture working with this, so it's going to be a lot of experimentation and going back and forth until you're happy with it. Next, I'm creating some mountains and hills on both sides of the sun, and I wanted these to look a little bit different from each other. So the one on the left has wider strokes, while the right side is going to have more of a linear look by pressing down harder on the edge. And this creates a really nice layered look. And as I was working on this, I noticed that my surface was bowing a bit, and I'm pretty sure it's because my cardboard wasn't super thick. So in the future, I would definitely recommend trying this on a thicker, more sturdy material. I've seen people doing similar projects on wood, or you can even use a canvas. For the foreground, I wanted to add in a bit more depth with some lines, so I used the end of a small paintbrush to draw in some lines. And now I'm just going to let it sit overnight to dry. So here's how it's looking after it's all dried. You can see that it's white now. The cardboard did flatten out a bit. It wasn't quite perfect, but that's totally fine with me. To add color to my painting, I'm using craft acrylic paints right on top of the joint compound. I went with a more neutral color palette, so I'm mixing up some light browns, warm browns, and a light yellow. So I'm just working layer by layer as we move from the midground to the foreground, and as I was painting each section of the painting, I made sure to get into all the little grooves. There's a lot of texture going on, so you want to make sure that you're moving your brush back and forth to get every little crevice. Something that I found helpful was even lifting up the board to make sure that I could see it at different angles and so that I didn't miss a single spot. I ended up doing the background last so I could cut the edges to get some crispy lines in between each layer. And I also found that I needed a second coat just to adjust some of the coloring and also to cover up any more of those white spots that were still peeking through. I popped our new painting into our new frame, and I didn't use the plastic so you could see the true texture of the piece. I think the black frame against the neutral tones really creates a nice modern feel. This painting was so much fun to experiment with, and I love how much interest the joint compound added to our piece, and I'm excited to use it again for future art pieces. I hope you guys enjoyed DIYing with me today. I absolutely love how the projects came out. Thrifting is one of my favorite things to do, so I hope this video inspires you guys to get out there and find something old and make it into something new. And make sure that you guys stay tuned for the next video because I'm going to take these items and actually style it in my bedroom. And I'm really excited for that video, so that is coming out soon. And of course, a huge thank you to Equilibria for sponsoring today's video. If you guys are interested in trying them out, make sure that you click on my link down below and use my special discount code to get 15% off of your entire order. If you haven't already, make sure that you follow me on Instagram. I post on there every single day, and I of course will share some of your recreations here on the screen. I love seeing them. You guys are seriously so awesome. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Stay inspired. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!